What started as a celebration between lifelong friends somehow ended in a courtroom. At first glance, this looks like a simple money dispute, but you can already tell there's years of damaged trust hiding underneath these numbers.
All right, are all the parties present for position number 1923M02320? Keisha Moore, Pascal Dutel, and Shamika Hazelworth. Is everybody present?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay, and is Miss Grace, are you present?
Yes, ma'am. I'm here.
Okay, I'm assuming that you all did not come to an agreement.
No, ma'am.
Absolutely not.
Okay, I'm going to ask one of the plaintiffs, if the plaintiffs among the three of you, I want one of you to serve. I'm not going to hear from all of you all at once. I want someone to serve as the lead here. I understand what the dispute is about, and I just want to hear about the math from both sides. And I want you to designate someone from the plaintiff's side to essentially act as the spokesperson, though you might ask questions from the other two plaintiffs. Who's that going to be?
Yes, ma'am. That will be me, Keisha Moore.
Okay, Miss Moore, I'm going to go ahead and ask you to raise your right hand. Okay, Ms. Moore, I'm going to ask you to give me a very quick overview, even though I read the case file, of what this is about and the total amount of money you're seeking. And then Miss Grace, I'm going to ask you to do the same thing for me. Just a few sentences before I get into the evidence.
Yes, ma'am. So we planned it wasn't a bridal shower necessarily. It was Prudence Grace's idea to throw this event for our mutual friend Monique. She had just gotten married. She just gotten engaged, so we were going to throw it in, a gathering for her. So she contacted me, she contacted Shamika, and she contacted Pascal, and
Okay,
herself.
so that's all I need to hear. So basically, this dispute is about who owes what for this getaway.
Yes, no, it's actually just what she owes
Okay,
because
that's fine. That's
yes,
fine. Thank you.
yes.
All right.
Do you need to know the amount?
Not yet.
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Grace, anything you care to say in terms of an opening as to what this is about?
Yes, first of all, Your Honor, I'm sorry because this is not my personality. I want to apologize to you because we had a hearing and we met in a room where we connected and tried to come to a resolution. Prior to that, what Keisha Moore is talking about is an event that we planned mutually. I was the one that initiated it for
Okay.
a mutual friend of
Well,
ours.
let me
Okay?
stop this. Do you disagree that this is about if
No,
anybody owes
I
money to
agree.
anybody? Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
then
I agree. Yes,
then let's
ma'am.
get into the evidence. Miss Moore, would you tell me how much money the plaintiffs are seeking and break it down for me? And then Miss Grace, I'll let you respond.
Yes, because we realized quickly that what we had planned for the event, we had not charged the attendees of the event a significant, a substantial amount to cover all of the house, the caterers, the services that we had all planned and agreed to. So at the end of the day, $1,921 is the portion that Prudence actually owes. She offered $1,000, and that is not enough because we had already she canceled her attendance 2 weeks prior to the event. We had already secured the house. We already secured the vendors. We had secured everything. Had we not had the event, people who had traveled and booked airline tickets and had made the plans to be there, they would have been out of that money. So we're just asking that she puts in what she agreed to. So she had a package herself. She owed money on that. And we all split the final cost between the four of us.
So can I ask
yes,
a question?
yes, ma'am.
So and Miss Grace, you of course are going to get a chance to talk. I'm just trying to get my facts straight. The plaintiffs are alleging that Ms. Grace owes 1921. Can you break down? And I saw there are supporting documents that are filed in Odyssey that I will study after the hearing, but can you
Yes.
verbally break down how you get to that 1921?
Okay, $603 was the cost divided by the four of us. That's what
Cost of what?
the cost of like the little things that we had to get, like the liquor, that we had to
Okay.
get, snacks and those kinds of things. We all took on that cost and
Okay.
we divided it by four. It's
Okay.
$603.
Got it.
There's a $916 balance for Prudence's package. So just to give you an idea, so we had a masseuse and a photographer there. So people who attended had the opportunity to say, yeah, I want a makeover, I want a massage, I want these services, and their package was a cost. So it was like an average of $1,100. Prudence had gave a deposit on her package, but her balance was $916. Additionally, I bought her a airline ticket. Mother died. I did that as a friend. She said that, oh, I'll pay her back because she didn't want anything from me. So I'm requesting that as well, $348. And the course cost to file was $54, even though it was more than that. That's a total balance of $1,921 that we're looking at from her.
Okay. So let me go back through this, and I understand that there are documents in the file, but that helps me. And I understand when you book a trip, friends split it. So $603 was the quarter share of the trip. Then each person has their own. So that's for extras, like let's say you bought food and drinks and stuff.
Yeah, we bought food, we bought snacks, we bought like incidental things, the things that we needed, just to make the folks that, were in attendance to feel comfortable. Yes,
Okay,
yes, ma'am.
okay. So $916 is the balance of what she owed for her own individual thing. Like let's say everybody had their own room or
Correct.
I understand the court cost. And did you tell me that you paid $348 in an airline ticket?
Yes. So her mother died not too long after she relocated to Wisconsin. She did not have money to come back home. I, as a friend, bought her a ticket from Wisconsin back to Atlanta so she could be there, and deal with that part of her life. I was not looking for that back, but she also said that she that back, and then of course she conveniently forgot that she would pay me that back. I'm looking for that reimbursement as well individually. This does not, that's outside of what's for this trip.
So if I'm understanding, and you're going to get a chance to talk again, the three of you plaintiffs are looking for a judgment against Miss Grace in the amount of $1,921. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Yes, Your Honor.
My other question is, if I heard from Miss, and forgive me if I'm messing up names, Ms. Hazelwood or Miss Dutel, I guess it's actually Miss Booker now. Would they tell me anything different, or are all of you? Is that the collective position of the plaintiffs?
It is. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you very much for being efficient. That's trying to understand that. So I've got my notes down to that effect, and I know that there are documents and itemizations in Odyssey. So what I'm going to do right now is to essentially flip the case around, and I'm going to ask Miss Grace, essentially, you have heard what the plaintiffs are seeking from you, and I know you've seen documents, and I know you all have communicated. Would you tell me in your own words what you think is going on here, and whether or not you think you owe anything at all, and if so, why? Essentially, what I'm asking for is a presentation, the same as what Ms. Moore gave, so I can try to understand. Oh, did I swear you in yet? Yeah, I did swear you in. Okay.
Okay, so basically, what ended up
This is where the
happening
case
was
becomes much bigger than dollars and receipts. Losing a parent unexpectedly can completely change someone's life overnight. At the same time, grief doesn't automatically erase financial obligations. That's what makes this case so difficult. The court isn't deciding whose pain is greater, it's deciding whether a legal debt still exists despite personal
what
tragedy.
ended up happening was I initially planned this event for Monique. And the reason why I planned it is because Keisha Moore, Monique, and myself and Shamika have known each other since we were little. Okay, we grew up together. Shamika and Keisha and Monique didn't know each other until I planned this event. But I've known all of them since I was little. And I planned the event because I was trying to celebrate everything that Monique had been through. It wasn't even about the engagement. It was about the fact that she had lost her mother. And then during the planning of this event, she lost her dad. What happened, because all I wanted to do was something simple, because Monique was my best friend. I wanted to do something simple for her. And I had moved to Wisconsin, West Bend, Wisconsin, temporarily. I work for Kaiser Permanente. I'm a nurse. I went to West Bend, Wisconsin. And when I got there, 3 days that I was there, Keisha and Monique were the ones that my daughter contacted because my mother died tragically. She dropped dead. She had a massive heart attack. And this was in the middle of this event. There was no contract. And the thing about it is we proceeded with planning this event for Monique in the process. But during that, I was dealing with stuff that had nothing to do with them because my mother didn't have a will. She had a property. She had this house. She had a significant other living in this house who wasn't paying the mortgage. And I'm also dealing with a property where I had to just evict a bunch of tenants. Okay. And try not to lose this property. So when Keisha tells you that it was 2 weeks, it wasn't 2 weeks. It was a couple of weeks prior to the hour because Shamika had said to me, Shamika Hazelwood or Booker said, we're coming up on the hour. We need to figure out what you're going to do. And I sent snippets of that to E-File where she said to me, when I told her, because I felt comfortable in telling Shamika, I can't do this. I'm dealing with everything and overwhelmed. I said, Shamika, I can't do this right now. That is when Keisha stepped in. And I don't know if you see the text messages, but she was sending me all kinds of FUs and don't F with me because I put money out. Everybody has lost people in death. But the thing is, this was new to me. I had just lost my mother. My mother is everything to me. I moved into her house and part of me feels like, and Keisha's laughing, part of me feels like she took this very lightly and it's considered a trauma, quote unquote, to her. But I also sent you a copy of my mother's death certificate. I'm still dealing with that. And then on top of it, my daughter went into the hospital because she's got a part of a pancreas, no spleen, no appendix, and she ended up with pancreatitis. And that is when she began to threaten me and said, I'm taking your mother to court, and your mother is a horrible person. And Your Honor, I sent that to you in exhibit. So what I'm beginning to feel like, and please, I want you to understand this. When all of this transpired and Keisha said that she pulled this off her credit card, I was willing to give them money to fix the situation, even though my mother is dead. I'm dealing with a $22,000 water bill right now from my mother.
Yeah, I
And
think
had
if
to
you can
evict
say
her significant other.
it's whatever.
Okay, first of all, everybody stop talking. If people are laughing, making snide comments, shaking their head, that doesn't reflect well on the position.
Thank you. Because I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Excuse me, that refers to you as well. I don't need the editorializing, and it's very sad to me among former friends. You're putting a numeric dispute in front of me, and I'm going to review every single document that's filed, but nobody is disrespectful to anybody in my courtroom, any courtroom that I conduct, whether you're over in ordinance, in criminal and civil, we treat each other with respect, and it's not acceptable for me to me.
Your Honor,
So-
I am so sorry.
Excuse
because
me.
I'm
Please stop.
sorry, Your Honor.
Please stop talking now. So I would like you, Miss Grace, to tell me, I understand very clearly the claim of the plaintiffs and how the money is broken down and what they're seeking. Is it your?
It's okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay. It's
You
okay.
know, it just upsets me, Your Honor,
Is it-
because these people, my friends, and they knew my mom. They told me my mother died.
Okay.
They told me, but they're suing me. And that hurts me because I wanted to go on ahead and try to rectify this. And Miss Moore wanted to go on ahead and pursue this and go to trial like she had a problem with me.
Calm down.
And I'm sorry, y'all. My mother dropped dead. I was in Wisconsin when my mom died. And they told me, but they're suing me.
I'm sorry. I'm her daughter. I'm just
Sorry.
trying to calm her down. That's
It upsets me. I thought we were better than that. I thought we were friends. And I was willing to do that. And Miss Moore didn't want to accept it. So none of them wanted to accept it.
all right.
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
I apologize. I'm her daughter. That's why I'm here. I'm just
Mother had a massive heart attack. I'm living in the house. She had died. And they're laughing. And I thought that they were my friends, but they're not.
So what we're going to do now is it's 2:03. We're going to take a 5-minute recess and we're going to reconvene.
breathe. Just breathe. Just breathe.
Just breathe.
This is such bullshit.
For real, I lost my mom too.
Excuse me, can everybody mute their mic?
All right.
Notice how both sides believe they're being reasonable. One side says, we just want what we're owed. The other says, show me proof before asking for thousands of dollars. These kinds of disputes often become emotional because people stop arguing about money and start arguing about respect, loyalty, and betrayal.
All right. Where is Miss Grace?
I'm right here, Your Honor.
All right.
No.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. So you essentially were presenting your case at the time that we took a brief recess. And since this is a numerics dispute from my perspective, and that may sound cold, but that is my job, I'd be interested. So the plaintiffs are seeking $1,921 from you. I'm unclear about what you contend because, and I'm going to take this case under advisement, meaning I'm going to go back and study. There's quite a few things all of you have filed, and I wasn't initially assigned to this calendar, so I'm not as prepared as I normally am. I'm going to read all this stuff carefully afterwards. Do you contend that you owe nothing, or what's your position on the numerics?
Your Honor, I'm not denying that I don't owe anything. I owe. And what I did was I made an effort. I even contacted Shamika and I said, I will pull up a contract, and I even put it in text message to Keisha. I said, I will give you guys something. Because right now, like I said, Your Honor, when my mother died, she had nothing. I had to relocate back from Wisconsin here with no job. I had nothing. And I relocated back here and I said, I will give you something. And I drew up a contract in Shamika Hazelwood and I put it as my exhibit. She said, we're not accepting that. And I said, okay, give me receipts. They pulled out a sheet of paper and wrote down a bunch of stuff, and it came to almost $2,000. Actually, it was over $2,000. And I said, I need receipts. I was the one that said, let's go to court, because I'm not going to go by what you guys write on a sheet of paper. I need actual receipts. And for some reason, I think that Ms. Moore thinks, because I also included that in my exhibit, under Instagram, my daughter posted a picture of the house that my mother lives in. It's a lake house. And Keisha posted Since you have this house, give me my money. That's what she said. And I included that in my exhibit under Instagram. So I begin to feel like it's more than that. And she also told Duluth Pascal, and I included that in my exhibit. She said, you're going out with your family for your niece's birthday. You owe us money. So she was bullying everybody during this entire event. So I'm not denying that, but what I don't like is the fact that I'm offering you something. We go to a hearing, and Judge, I'm sorry for being disrespectful to you, but we went to a hearing the first time and I had gave my entire exhibit sold to EFI, and the judge rescheduled us for the 28th. And the thing about it is, when he rescheduled us, before he did, he gave us an opportunity to work it out. Miss Moore and everybody that she's with didn't want to do that. They wanted to continue, and Miss Moore was the one that said, let's go to trial. And told my daughter, and I sent you the exhibit, that I was crazy and all she wanted from me was money and she would go away like she was mafia. And I have that in my exhibit. She's been threatening my daughter since, and my daughter is in and out of the hospital. And that's all that I have to say.
Thank you. All right.
So,
Excuse me for a second. So I've heard the case from the plaintiffs, heard the case from the defendants. What I didn't do is, and I'm a little bit hesitant in this situation because I know tensions are high. Normally each party is allowed cross-examination. So Ms. Grace, do you have any questions for Ms. Moore? And then Ms. Moore, I'm going to ask you if you have any questions for Ms. Grace. You might not have any, but I want to give Ms. Grace, do you want to take this opportunity to do what we call as cross-examination? Do you have any questions for Ms. Moore about the numeric dispute, not about friendships?
I don't have any questions because when I tell you, Your Honor, I got to go to court to evict a tenant from my mother's other property. I'm tired. I'm so tired. I'm tired of all take work off. I had to take off for this because Ms.
Thank you.
Moore wanted to push this more. So I don't.
Okay, thank you.
This cross-examination says everything. Instead of discussing receipts, both sides are reliving years of friendship and disappointment. Once emotions reach this point, it's almost impossible to separate facts from feelings. That's exactly why judges constantly redirect parties back to evidence instead of personal history.
Ms. Moore, do you have any questions for Ms. Grace?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, I do. Prudence, was this event not your idea?
This event was my idea.
Did you not suggest that we get the butlers and all of the other stuff? Because you said that you wanted to have something simple. What you suggested were we have butlers, we have gift bags. Did you not suggest all of the other things that we provided to the attendees to make it such a great event?
I didn't suggest butlers. I suggested gift bags, and I wanted it to be very simple, and there was no budget.
Did you suggest T-shirts and mugs and all of that stuff? Were you not an active part of the planning for this event? I
was. And then my mother died.
Oh, but you know what? And I'm sorry, Miss Brenda died. But
you didn't say that before.
But I didn't say that, but evidence is that I flew you back from Wisconsin to Atlanta so you could be there with your kids.
And you didn't ask for the money, but now you do.
No, you volunteered that money because you didn't want anything from me.
Because my mother had just died that
Do you
night.
remember? No, but you know what?
My mother had just died.
Monique lost her father as well. She lost her mother.
She lost her father in the middle of us planning the event.
But you know what? That's not either here nor there.
It is because you're also the one that said that people die all the time, but my mother just died.
No,
That's what you just said,
I
Keisha.
am looking,
You were a part
I
of
am
telling me
looking,
that my mother died.
no, I am looking for
And you
you.
said that I didn't have to pay you back for
All
the
right,
flight.
all right.
Okay.
So we're going to stop the opportunity
Yeah,
for
yeah.
examination.
Because I'm just
So what
talking
I'd like
about
to do with this trial right now is I do have to review all the exhibits. Miss Moore, do you wish to add anything to your testimony?
what I would like to add is I'm not looking for anything but what is owed. She said I threatened her daughter. She knows I did not do that. I have screenshots of what I actually said to her daughter. All of this is she's just trying to, pull on the emotional strings, because her mother died. My father died. You know what? I'm a grown up. I know what my obligations are financially. I'm just looking for our money that we put out. She can go on with her life and deal with the death of her mother and whatever tragedies is the tragedy of the day. All I'm looking for is what the planners, which she was a part of, which she committed to be paid out. That's it. That's it. All this other stuff, she thinks I'm a bad friend. I haven't seen her since I was 8 years old. It's okay. It's okay. I don't need that. I need us to be whole financially. That is it. If I make a terrible friend, that's okay. I don't need her in my life. She doesn't need me in her
Judge
life.
Bryant deserves credit here. Rather than encouraging more arguments, she repeatedly tried to calm everyone down and even gave them another opportunity to settle outside of a ruling. Experienced judges know that even when someone wins in court, everyone can still
Me
lose
in
personally.
her life, obviously.
I have one question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Sure that this is in the materials. On the 900, I understand the 603, I understand the 348, I understand the $54. I assume when you're asking for 916 for the purported balance of Prudence's package,
Yes,
and I know
ma'am.
she had given a deposit. What I interpret that to mean is the rest of you put down the rest, put down
No,
the nine.
actually, she paid $250 towards the deposit of her package. So her package was in total 250 plus that 916.
I understand that, but did you, the three of you pay the 916?
Yeah, we had to.
Okay,
We had
okay, so
to. We had
that
to.
type of
Yes.
contract. I got it. Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Grace, do you want to add anything?
The only thing that I have to say to that is I never denied that I would not pay them anything. I was the one that drew up a contract, and I drew it up for $1,000. And the reason why I did was because no one could give me specifics. No one could give me receipts. Okay. I'm not going to pay anything off of a piece of scrap paper. And I added that into my exhibit. And what they did, and I'm not going to say they, but what I received was an astronomical amount that was more than 1,019 or whatever. It was more.
So
I didn't initiate any of that, Your Honor. I wanted to do it simple with gift bags, T-shirts. They said that because of me, the event was a flop. And I also included a YouTube video where they hired a videographer, and everybody had on crowns and dresses and stuff.
let me, okay,
Serve me.
I appreciate that. And it looks like I really have to do a fine-tuned dig down into all the very good evidence that I looked at that you
By
all
the end of
submitted.
this hearing, it feels like the friendship had already ended long before the lawsuit was filed. The judge now has the difficult task of ignoring the emotion and focusing only on contracts, receipts, messages, and evidence. That's the difference between personal justice and legal justice. Sometimes the law can resolve the financial dispute, but it can't repair broken relationships.
That you all submitted, but let me ask all the people on this call, and my colleague, I don't recall which colleague of mine you were in front of, but you really, I'm giving you another opportunity to think about this. Do you really want me to decide this? It seems to me it's not, you all would do better off even if sadly the friendships are lost. I'm happy to go down, set out a spreadsheet and parse everything out, having an understanding of the dispute, but in this kind of thing. It seems to me you would do better to resolve it amongst yourselves, but if you can't, I will. But this kind of dispute, for my many decades of lawyering, seems like it would be better that you could do it for yourself. But if you want me to do it, I will. But
Can I speak, Judge?
yeah,
Miss Grace has a history of doing this kind of stuff. And that's why we invited Monique Glenn on this call. So, I absolutely respect that you think that, friendships should be more than this. And actually it should be. But Prudence is not a friend to anybody. She just looks to take advantage of people.
That's why you
She
paid for my
yeah,
plane ticket
she
and
has
you told me that my
done it before. She has done it before.
yeah,
Not anyone on this call will be at a loss if she is no longer our
just so that
friend.
she's bold people.
We would like for, a objective party to look at the evidence and to look at all the text messages and how she was so into, adding stuff to what we ended up having to pay for. We're absolutely okay with
My
that.
mother died that you told me about.
She is not a loss to any of us on this call. Not a loss
It's
at all.
interesting because the people that don't trust me are the people that collectively got together and told me that my mother died and was willing to fly me back to Georgia. If I had a real bad credibility, Keisha, you would not have paid
That was
$500.
before.
$500.
That
No,
was
you know it
before.
then. You
That
know
was
it then
before.
because you and Monique were
No.
talking
Oh,
then. And Your Honor, you know what?
no.
There's nothing else that I have to say at this point because I have to deal with my own headspace. So I'm done, Your Honor. Respectfully, I am done.
Your Honor, that was before everything. Had I known that she was this kind of person, I wouldn't have put myself out there to get her a flight. But at the time, I thought she was a childhood friend, and I wanted her to get to her kids and her family when her mother passed away.
Want the money back
That's
though, right?
but you know
You
what?
wanted the money back. But
No,
you wanted the money back. Did you want the money
no.
back, Keisha? If you
Did you
wanted me to get to my family, why did you want the money back?
You were the
Why
one.
did you want the
You
money
were
back?
Tell
And why
me
were you telling my
you
daughter that I'm a
you
horrible mother
because
all
you
because
right,
she just
are.
came
folks.
out the
All right,
hospital?
all right.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Thank you.
Thank you all
Your
for
Honor,
being here today.
please,
I
I'm
really
sorry.
appreciate what you all are the dispute, and I'm very sorry about it. I will take the case what we call under advisement. I'm going to read everything that you submitted. I'll do my best. My clerk will
Thank
be
you.
in touch with either or both parties if I need anything else. Is there anything new or different before I let all of you go that can help me? I want to make sure I understand the facts. Ms. Booker has been raising her hand. I don't want to, but
As
I
this hearing
really,
comes to an end, one thing becomes crystal clear. This case was never just about $1,921. It became a courtroom battle over trust, friendship, grief, and accountability. The judge wisely refused to make a rushed decision, choosing instead to carefully review every receipt, text message, and piece of evidence before ruling. That's exactly how Justice.
I really
Yes.
just want only something new, you
No,
understand.
I just want to clarify the reason that there were
Oh,
no
hold on.
actual receipts.
Go ahead and raise your right hand.
Okay.
You swear, promise, and affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Because they might be recorded.
I do.
I'm just like
Okay.
really
So
upset.
the reason that there were no actual receipts given is because we had a group text and she was part of that group text. And every time something was paid, there was a track record given in that group text. So every time Pascal made a payment for the house from the card, there was proof given. Every time when I ordered the fish bowls for the ladies for their drinks, there was proof given. When we ordered the pajamas, there was proof given. So she had proof all along of everything that was ordered. And it was never a simple arrangement. I have proof of her telling me that we needed butlers, which we went ahead and got, but we didn't include that in the claim. I
Those
paid that out
were
of pocket.
suggestions. Those were suggestions.
Thank you. All right,
And it was
folks.
amongst the rest of the group. I'm sorry, Your Honor.
No, nobody needs to be sorry. Now, Miss Glenn, I think I'm gonna not, unless you have something you must say that's new. I think I have to decide this case on the documents that you've all submitted, but go ahead, and then I'm gonna wrap this up. Don't forget to unmute yourself and raise your right hand.
Unmute yourself, Mo. Unmute yourself, Mo.
Okay, do you hear me now?
You swear, promise, and affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
What new things do you need me to know?
Now, I was the person that the party, that the bachelorette trip was for. And only thing that I have to say, I didn't know any of the things, but in the process, Prudence cut me off. I had nothing to do with this. She says that we were best friends, and she cut me off, changed her number, and stopped dealing with me and cut me off.
You didn't have my back when they were jumping all over me. That's why I cut you off. Because you didn't have my back, Monique, and this was for you, and I was the one that initiated it. And it's so sad.
And I had nothing to do with it.
Because you know
I
what?
didn't know
You
any of these
did.
contractual
Because it was for
things.
you, Monique.
Prudence, let me explain something to you.
I'm sorry, Judge, for interrupting.
No. Prior to you going to Wisconsin, you borrowed money from me in which you never paid back. And that's not even an issue. That's not even an issue.
I did pay
but
back.
In the process, you cut me off like I had,
and you talked about Keisha back.
nothing.
And you talked about
You
Keisha
never
back.
even had the first conversation with me about
Right.
this to try to clear this up. You didn't have the first conversation.
It's okay.
You left me messages like you talked to me, but we never even spoke one
And I was
time
there for
about
your
this.
mother when she died, and I was there for your father when he died, and I was giving you medical advice as a nurse.
No, you was not.
I was.
No, you was not.
I was.
Right.
I spoke to your mother.
Died, you was there.
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Thank you all very much for coming in today. I'm going to take the
Thank you,
case
Judge.
under advisement. My clerk will reach out to the plaintiffs or the defendant if we need anything. Have a very good day. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Your Honor.